Reza here from Get Fit with Reza. Today we're just going to be discussing about what is core training versus ab training. I think there's a lot of confusion going on now. I frequently ask this question to my clients. So give me an example of what is core training and give me an example of what is ab training. So most of them do not quite understand the differences. Normally it gets mixed up between what's core, what's ab. So as long as the general feeling of their body is around the midsection, they consider it as core or ab, so they can't clearly define. So let's clearly define what's core training and ab training. So right up front, here we go. So core training is about stability. So we're looking at the stability of the midsection of the torso here between the hips and the ribs. So if at any point of time my body receives any kind of resistance from the front here, being pushed at the shoulders from one side to the other side, being pushed at the shoulders from the front, or I need to do a powerful movement to push an object, I need to brace and keep this area tight and ensure that this area is not moving so I can transmit forces from my legs, the ground reaction force, all the way to my hands. Alright, so that's core training. So essentially core training is about stability. How about ab training? So ab training is anytime you get some kind of spinal flexion. So let me give you a day-to-day example. For example, I'm on the ground and I have to get up and sit up. So that's ab training. So the reason being I have to be able to contract my rectus abdominis, my abs from my ribs to my hip here, and allow myself to go into spinal flexion and get into a full sit and then get up. So combatively, so for example in a combative context, I fell down, I've covered my head, and I need to recover from this position. Any kind of get up requires the strength of the abdominal group to get into spinal flexion to come up and sit. Alright, another way of thinking about it is when I start to fall, I need to curl up into a ball. That's when my abs come into play. So your abdominal muscle group is essentially for spinal flexion. Alright, so that's ab training. Both are important. Core training is resistive to a load to prevent myself from going to hyperextension and hurting my back. So for instance, if I'm getting pushed on the front, I can brace and keep this guy tight and ensure that I don't go to hyperextension. Or I need to transmit forces to push and keep this area tight to transfer forces to the external of my limbs. So you will also hear about this phrase saying proximal stability for distal mobility. Okay, so that one is essentially saying you need a good strong core to be able to be mobile at the rest of your limbs. Alright, so now let me just go and demonstrate a few core exercises and then a few ab exercises. Alright, the first one is your basic plank. So from here you want to set up with the elbows and toes in line with each other at about shoulder width apart. You want to retract and depress your shoulder blades. Alright, tighten your glutes, straighten your knees. Alright, 1, 2, 3, up, and keep that body parallel to the floor, having the load more on the upper body, less on the legs. So you want to transfer that load over the upper body, over your forearms a little bit more. Alright, so this is core training. Okay, so core training is about keeping the torso still and not moving. Another way of core training is to change the base of stability. So now I'm going to reduce one base and remove one base, which is my feet, and prevent the body from tilting or moving to the side. Alright, so from here back into 4-point position, 1, 2, 3, up, and I'm going to raise one leg up and hold position and not allowing the body to shift. Bring back down slowly and up on the other one. Bring down slowly and up on the forward one, coming back, and up on the forward one, coming back, preventing all that lateral shift and twisting of the torso. Okay, so that's core training. So I've given you some particular variations from that plank, lifting the bases. Alright, another one that we hardly practice for some of us is actually the side plank. Alright, so this enables the lateral side of the body to be strong and stable against any lateral forces as well. The other connecting part of the body that's generally not thought about in terms of our core is actually our glutes as well, because the glutes support the hip and then from then onwards it supports the spine, right? So generally for my clients, part of their core training includes a typical glute bridge from here. Bring the heels as close to the buttocks. You want to accelerate up as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes, hold that there for a second and bring back down. And coming back up again, ensuring that the contact point is at the heels, driving the hip up and locking the glutes out. Okay, so this is a great exercise to combine together what you've done on the front, putting some of that work done on the back of the hip. Okay, so that's core training. Now let's move on to ab training. What is ab training? Ab training is ensuring that the spine goes through the range of motion for spinal flexion and extension. So going up against the resistive forces of gravity into spinal flexion and going back down eccentrically to the ground. So at a basic level, we don't want the body to be swinging into the sit-up. We want the body to be in full control of the motion, right? So if you're not so strong, you can always have this angle of the feet, of the legs outside 90 degrees, alright? So if this is 90, get out 90 to get a bit more leverage. Hands can be in front, head up, chin up slightly, tuck in your chin, alright? Imagine there's a fist under your chin, ensuring that the chin doesn't touch the chest. Focus on lifting the chest up off the ground and rolling the spine and coming up. Alright, so you need that smooth motion here instead of jerking. So try not to whip the spine into a sit-up. Even that first rep for me was difficult because I was trying to resist gravity gradually. So from here, resist and up and fight gravity gradually. And that's how you get strong. So from here, pull and sit. So there's a few things happening here. Alright, spinal extension. Your hips go into posterior tilt to engage the abs. Alright, so once the hips go into posterior tilt, your rectus abdominis is contracted slightly. So from here, the lumbar gap reduces on the floor. Then you can start to pull on the rectus abdominis, and then the hip flexors come in, and then you're back into spinal extension at the top here. So try not to come up with the spine slouched. Sit up straight. Once you're at the top, when you go back down, the spine will get back into spinal flexion, back in the floor, spinal extension. Alright, so that's a basic setup done with a very slow tempo for now to understand how to move the body. Okay, if that gets really difficult, yes, then you can go to maximum extension of the legs and come up. So this gives you maximum leverage to help you to get up into a sit-up. Okay, the next one will be one of my favorites, which is the unilateral sit-up. So one leg will be extended, one leg will be bent. Alright, so from here, this hand goes up to the ceiling, the other hand on the side. Again, you want to resist gravity gradually. Posterior tilt, engage the abs here. So lower lumbar gap closed, and now try and sit whilst maintaining this hand to the ceiling and the other hand approaching the ankles. And you come up. And you come up. Alright, and then switch. The rep range for now is not important, it's about how well you can do the reps. So from here, how well can you do the reps? If you start to swing this hand, this is no good. Do not swing this hand. This hand is up in line with the line of gravity. So this is where I'm working the resistance at. Start to see real slow. No swinging, fully strength, no momentum. And up. Okay, cool. Now we get to the leg raises. The leg raises is a common, difficult to analyze. It's a common problem where it's difficult to analyze. Is the leg raise an ab exercise or is it a core exercise? So let's analyze the movement and take a look at the leg raise. So right feet together, toes up, posterior tilt, hands behind the head, raising the legs up here. So if I lower my legs to the floor and I raise up with minimal spinal flexion, then what's my trunk doing? It's doing stability. What am I working? I'm working hip flexors. I'm working the change of load on the trunk, alright, with regards to the angle of gravity. This is almost 100% weight of my legs against gravity. This is 45% weight against gravity. This is zero weight. So if you have great hamstring flexibility, you're right up here in this 90-degree angle. This is zero load to your abdominal group, zero load to your core. But as you proceed down, 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 here with minimal gap in the lower back, see, I can't put my hand on my lower back, great, means I'm holding the tension on my abs, holding my core tight. Alright, this is almost 100% load of my legs right here in my midsection. So from here as I lift, that load reduces, the load increases. So if there's no spinal flexion, then there's no abdominal training, it's core training. I hope this video has helped you understand a little bit better what is core training and what is abdominal training. Put that knowledge into good use and how you program yourself at this point of time. If you're a new exerciser, don't worry too much about the number of reps and the sit-ups. It is the quality of reps that you want to do. Focus on the core training aspect, meaning increase your plank endurance to about 30 seconds, 45 seconds and up to about a minute and not more than that. Dr. Stuart McGill doesn't recommend planks beyond 60 seconds. There's no positive benefit beyond holding a static plank beyond 60 seconds. Vary the difficulty of the planks by tapping, by raising the legs, and several other good variations for the planks. For sit-ups, work with maximum leverage first, where the legs are fully extended. Alright, with this full extension of the legs, it's easier for you to get up from the ground. Do not go straight away to this angle. This is a tough angle. If you do it strict, even for me, a 90-degree angle, a strict sit is very, very challenging. See? If you're whipping the body, yes, of course it's easy. So if you start to whip, okay, that's fine. If you start to whip, then it's a different kind of training. So then you're using momentum and speed to overcome the resistance. So right now we want to work from a dead position to a controlled movement for your sit-ups. So work with maximum leverage first for your sit-ups with the legs extended. So again, I hope this program has helped you. If there's any questions, please drop me a comment on the video or drop me a message on Facebook or drop me a message on Instagram. I can help you out with your ab and core training. Thanks for watching guys. Reza here from Get Fit Reza signing out.